Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna let it rain. Tonight, we gonna let it rain. Tonight, we gonna let it rain. Just like the sunrise, we gonna let it rain. Just like a spark that's breaking out. Can't make a stop, can't turn back now. We know that there's no room for doubt. No, we can't turn back now. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna let it rain. Tonight, we gonna let it rain. Tonight, we gonna let it rain. Just like the sunrise, we gonna let it rain.
Oh, I was pretty small there. Welcome in tonight. So tonight's live, guys. How's everybody doing? Hopefully, you guys are having a wonderful, wonderful day. What is it? Wednesday, the 12th? Wednesday, the 12th of March. Oh my gosh. I say it every night, but this year is going by quick. It's going to be spring before we know it. And I cannot wait. It was very warm today. Hopefully, it was warm where you guys were as well, because it's been beautiful in Ohio. It has. So welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. I have a lot to go over with you guys today. I actually did a pre-recorded video, and I did two. One will come out for the second channel. It's like my first official video kind of on that channel, introducing what I'll be kind of doing over there. So if you're not with us over on Unfiltered, I will put the link in the chat throughout the live. I also did a video for this channel for TitaniumBuilt, and it's just a pre-recorded video of Abby and Libby's final video. The 43 seconds, the full 43 seconds has been released. So I think I'll release that video right after the live. So it'll be up a few minutes after the live. I just have to make a thumbnail and all that. So if that's something that you're interested in, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And look at that ladybug. Passed her lung test with flying colors. I love that. I feel like I've been hard of breathing. Hey, Dawn. But it's probably just running around like a crazy person. No COPD. I love that. My uncle has it and it's terrible. Hey, Dawn. It is just bad. It's just real bad. Hey, is it Suan? Suan? I'm gonna say it wrong, but I bet it's like even better than what I'm saying. But if it is Suan, let me know. And Mike's in here. Hey, Mike. Hey, Willows. Hey, Lisa. Welcome on in. Hey, Wizard, Walt. And when that beat drops, man, we know it's time to go. I'm just seeing who's all in here. Hey, Mandy. Hey, DM. Welcome in. It's good to see you guys. It's good to see your beautiful faces. Well, or your dog's face, like in Mike's, case. Hey, Karina. Hey, DM. I already said DM, but that's okay. Hey, Catherine. I'm like, wait a minute. I already said that. Hey, Tony. How you doing? Hey, Cat K. Welcome in. Hey, Sailor Outlaw George. It's been a while. I feel like anyway. Hey, Angel. Welcome into tonight's live. Therese is here. There's Mary Beth. Filing taxes. Oh, gosh. Don't. It makes me sick. Don't even remind me. I remember back in the day, like I used to get money back, like a good amount. Like when I served tables, I got a good amount of money back. But because they tax us twice. But when you own a business and then you're in business for yourself, like YouTube, you have to pay them. Severe thunderstorm watch. Oh my gosh, Therese. Oh, and by the way, before I forget, thank you to who sent me the Cash App last night. I don't know if you want me to say your name, but if you do, let me know in the chat and I will. But thank you so much. I appreciate that. It was like when I got off the live, I saw it. So good evening, Aries. How are you doing? Hey, Naomi. Hey, Niners girl. Hey, Elizabeth. Hey, Teresa. Okay. Now I can read the chat more. I got through the names. Major thunder or tornado outbreak expected Friday. Ooh. Hopefully it's not near my area because we had a tornado here. How long ago? 6 or 7 years ago. And we don't get tornadoes in Ohio. This thing was so bad. We had like 8 of them touch down. It took out like, oh gosh, it took out so much stuff. It took out so much. And I'm not even really like familiar. I'm not really familiar with this area, which is stupid because I've been here for 7 or 8 years. But like, I forget which area exactly it took out, but it took out like, I don't know exactly what it was, but it wasn't like in our area, but it took out like this whole town. And then our area, it touched down here and like where we live, it was just bad. Like the apartment in front of us was completely just gone. We got extremely lucky. You're in Ohio? Well, I thought for some reason you were in Michigan. I don't know why. Well, see, yeah. You probably remember the tornadoes. They were bad. They were really bad. Like it took out some stuff. Me too, Angel. I'm gonna stop paying. She said I'm gonna stop paying my taxes. I've been wrong. I feel like I don't want to pay them anymore. I've only had to pay 1 year, I think, or 2 years. Well, no, 2 or 3 years now. But it's just not fun. It's not fun at all. Like when you hit the button and like it goes to tally it up, and you just think, you just don't ever not see where you're like, I mean, I'm 39 and, the last only 3 years have I had to pay. So it's like every year I always got money back and I've been working since I was 16. So it's just so weird to have to like pay it, but it's worth it. It's perfectly fine. But the first thing I wanted to go over tonight with you guys. So the 911 call, we're going to go over that, but, it hasn't been like released, but I guess certain creators have heard it. Like right before the live, I was listening to Gray Hughes because I saw that he had put that it was like, I listened to the 911 call and I'm like, what? And I was listening to him. And so he said that he says that in the 911 call, there's certain things that you don't hear that's in the transcript. And then there are things that they left out of the transcript that he kind of fills in the blanks for. So I thought we would watch his video later on and get a idea of what the 911 call sounds like. Maybe they are going to release it. I don't know how like Gray Hughes would get it. There's probably other creators that have gotten it too, if he's gotten it, but I don't know how they've gotten it. So let's see. Oh, 16. Yeah, they can wait. Hey, Raina. Is it Raina? Raina. Hey, Shelly. Okay, so I'm going to be on this other page, but it says here, instead of challenging the conclusion that the DNA on the knife sheath belonged to the defendant, the defense expert disclosure reveals that the defense plans to argue the DNA on the knife sheath does not prove defendant was ever at the crime scene, and the knife sheath itself could have been planted by the real perpetrator. So I'm going to say that again. The defense is going to say they're going to challenge the DNA. They've been challenging the DNA anyway, but this is next in their line of things to do, try to get the DNA thrown out, try to say that, I mean, they can't say that it's not Bryan Kohberger's DNA. So they're trying to get, it thrown out. And now they're going to say, hey, somebody else, took his knife sheath and, or planted his DNA on it. I don't know exactly which way they're going to go with that, but either they planted the knife sheath at the, murder scene, or and then they somehow got Bryan's little bit of DNA on the button of the knife sheath. Doesn't make much sense to me. It's just, so I'm going to read it again. Instead of challenging the conclusion that the DNA on the knife sheath belonged to defendant, the defense's expert disclosures reveal that the defense plans to argue the DNA on the knife sheath does not prove defendant was ever at the crime scene, and the knife sheath itself could have been planted by the real perpetrator. I just, so who would Bryan Kohberger be hanging out with that would have access to steal his knife sheath and his knife? That's what we would have to, who are we blaming, Bryan Kohberger? Because that's going to be the next question. Is he going to say he had it in his car and someone broke into his car and took it? Well, then why wasn't there a police report? Even if someone broke into your house or they took it at your house, why isn't there a police report of someone taking your knife sheath and your knife? That's a pretty big thing, like, hey, someone stole a knife from me. Or maybe make that as your defense. Maybe they will end up calling a witness for that. I don't know. Shauna, you're right. Yeah, there is. So touch DNA is when you physically touch an object. Like you touch that object and that your skin cells come off on that object. He had touch DNA on there. It wasn't transfer DNA, it was touch DNA. And they're saying that he did buy one on Amazon. That he bought a K-bar knife. That's been the rumor anyway. We'll see when the Amazon is when we get it unsealed and everything, and we know exactly what they're looking for. But I think that the knife was from Amazon, and he could have gave the knife to somebody. Was there what? Yeah, he could have. She's tried everything, Lenora. Because, well, when we went to look to buy one, like we didn't, well, not to buy one, we went to look at one. I mean, I touched the inside of the knife buckle. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I did. I wasn't gonna like wipe it off after. Like, I should have wiped it off afterwards, but I did touch it, like just like the strap and stuff of it. So, if I come up, needing you guys for my alibi, I'm glad I'm here every night. I have an alibi every night of the week, pretty much. So, we'll move on to this, but because Fox News did a article over it, I figured I would read the article to you guys and then just that section, because the rest of the document is extremely boring. I was reading through it and I was like, y'all are going to hate this. So it's all kind of wrapped up in a bow with that one section. So it says a new court filing reveals the defense team for Idaho College quadruple murder suspect Bryan Kohberger is planning to argue at trial that the knife sheath found at the crime scene was potentially planted by the real killer. In the state's filing released on Tuesday, prosecutors summarized a defense filing that appears to be sealed. Instead of challenging the conclusion that the DNA on the knife sheath belonged to the defendant, the defense expert disclosures reveal that the defense plans to argue the DNA on the knife sheath does not prove defendant was ever at the crime scene, and the knife sheath itself could have been planted by the real perpetrator. I mean, Idaho investigators found a 3-person mixture of DNA under 21-year-old University of Idaho undergrad Madison Mogen's fingernails after she and 3 friends were killed in her off-campus rental home in Moscow, Idaho on November 13th, 2022, according to previous court filings. I was just seeing if you guys were okay. I was looking at the chat because I can't see when I'm on another page reading. The FBI checked 2 other publicly accessible databases that ultimately led them to Kohberger, who was first identified as a person of interest on December 19th, 2022, and arrested on December 30th, 2022, in connections in the deaths of Mogen, Kayla Gonzalez, 21, Xana Kernodle, 20, and Ethan Chapin, 20. And then this is the filing here. And if you guys want the filing, just let me know. I could always put it in the chat for you. Kohberger's defense team has sought to undermine the credibility of investigative genetic genealogy research, or IGG, that helped police zero in on him in connection with the quadruple homicide. The prosecutor's filing also quotes a defense expert disclosure that prosecutors say reveals Kohberger's lawyers intend to call an expert in forensic biology and DNA who will testify about the DNA found on the knife sheath. Okay. The DNA recovered on the button of the knife sheath is a crucial piece of evidence in the murder case that has been the center of legal maneuvering ahead of the trial. Defense expert Dr. Leah Larkin, a genetic genealogist, testified that based on her review of discovery documents, she believes someone at the FBI violated an internal policy and the terms of service of one or more genealogy databases to come up with the lead that led to Kohberger. Oh, let me turn my mic up just a little. It's kind of low. Okay. In a pair of redacted motions regarding the evidence, Bicca Barlow, a defense attorney who specializes in attacking DNA evidence, argued that because testing of the samples came back inconclusive, focusing on them could mislead the jury. Additionally, she argued that independent testing conducted for the defense ruled Kohberger out entirely as a contributor. And that's what they're saying about the DNA, I guess, under the fingernails. Through further discovery, Barlow said the FBI admitted to using MyHeritage and GEDmatch databases law enforcement isn't supposed to search. The FBI declined to comment and instead pointed to Ada County Judge Stephen Hippler's February 17th order, which found investigators had not violated Kohberger's constitutional rights with the IGG searches. Kohberger's trial is scheduled to begin August 11th. Mark your calendars. And he could face the death penalty if convicted. Fox News Digital reached out to Kohberger's attorney for comment. They probably said no comment. They can't talk. They're on a gag order. When they say there's no evidence anywhere of BLOD, I wonder if they got the testing back from the pillowcase and the like the mattress protector and stuff. I know that it's probably just his BLOD. It's probably just his. It's probably just Bryan's like nosebleed or something. I don't know, but it could have been someone else's. So I wonder if they did that. If they tested all that yet. I'm sure they did. I'm sure they have. I just don't know. We haven't heard like what the results were. You know what I mean? So we don't know those results exactly. This is super short. It's like 51 seconds, but we'll listen to it really quick. And thank you for being here, guys. I appreciate it. And then we'll get into the 911 call.
First, new developments in the Bryan Kohberger case and new details about the direction that his defense team may take at trial. According to prosecutors, Kohberger's defense team will argue that someone else could have planted a knife sheath that had Kohberger's DNA on it. Prosecutor Bill Thompson made the claim in a motion filed just this week. Of course, that knife sheath was found at the home where 4 University of Idaho students were killed back in 2022. Police tracked Kohberger through investigative genetic genealogy, and the defense did try to have that IgG evidence thrown out, but the judge denied that request. So rather than contest the DNA evidence, the defense may claim that the real perpetrator planted the knife sheath at the crime scene. Kohberger's trial is scheduled to begin in August, and of course, we'll bring you every development until then.
Oh, whoa. I didn't mean to do that. Okay. So yeah, they're going to bring us all the developments. Which they will, which we have no, I have faith that they will. Let me go to let me exit out a couple of these things. Okay. So like I was telling you guys in the beginning of the live, if you weren't in here in the beginning, that's okay. Don't be late next time. I'm just kidding. Only I'm allowed to be late. No, there's a few creators, I guess, that have actually got the chance to hear the 911 call that was made from the King Road residents on November 13th, 2022. So we had gotten the transcripts and we had known, a little bit, most of it, a lot of it was redacted, but we got a little bit of a feel of what was going on at the crime scene that morning, who was there, what was happening, who discovered the bodies, things of that nature. So now that we have a couple creators that have come out and put out videos saying like, hey, we've heard the 911 call. They're saying that some of the parts of that 911 call are either missing, like they're not there, like when they're listening to it, or there's been things added that they can add to the 911 call that they heard themselves. So I thought we would listen to this quick video, and this is going to just go over the 911 call as we heard it prior. And then we will listen to Gray Hughes and we'll listen to him explain the 911 call as he heard it, because he heard the actual call, I guess. So we'll do both of those. And I will fair use it for Gray Hughes. I do have Gray in my description as well. So we'll listen to this court or this 911 call from, prior, and then we will listen to his.
Joining us for Krempton News at 6, I'm Mark Hanrahan.
It's good to have you here. I'm Whitney Ward. We begin tonight tracking new details in the Moscow murder case. More than 2 years after 4 University of Idaho students were killed in their off-campus home, we're seeing text messages sent by the surviving roommates the night of the murders.
Those messages were sent moments after the roommates made that gruesome discovery. Krempton News' Christian Garza has more on the messages and what a legal expert says about their significance.
Well, the big question after these documents were unsealed was why now? Why, after close to 2 years, are we finally seeing those early morning interactions between the surviving roommates and police? The simple answer to that, now we are at a different stage of proceedings in this case. It was here in the early morning hours of November 13th in 2022, the surviving roommates made the gruesome discovery. Now, we're getting a glimpse of what they went through. Court documents show text messages between the surviving roommates as they tried to figure out what was happening. The messages start at around 4:22 a.m. with the surviving roommates hearing strange noises and seeing a strange man in the house. They read, "No one is answering. I'm really confused. Xana was wearing all black. I'm freaking out right now. No, it's like a ski mask almost. I'm not kidding. I'm freaking out. Come to my room. Run down here." Around noon that same day, after not hearing from any of the other roommates or Ethan, a group of them went into Xana's room and found her unresponsive. That's when they called 911. Court documents show multiple people passed the phone around as they talked to the dispatcher, saying one of the roommates in the house was drunk last night and wasn't waking up, while also telling the dispatcher that they saw a man in the house. When asked if Xana was breathing, the caller's response was no.
Without prejudging.
Sorry. So I'm wondering if maybe we'll have to listen to, I didn't get to listen to all of Gray Hughes. I listened to about 3/4 of his video and I didn't hear it in there, but maybe they do say something about there being like BLOD. I hate having to spell that out. Blood everywhere. Maybe they did say something about it and it's redacted out of here because it is very strange that people are saying unresponsive, they're not breathing, they're, all of this, but they're not mentioning that their house is leaking. Do you know what I mean? Like there's so much biological evidence in that room. I mean, even after you pass away, just think about what happens after you pass away. Like you would have to be crazy not to see any of that and not smell that. I don't know. We'll find out more, but as it goes along, but that is pretty weird to me.
The context in which that will be offered, it's impossible to know whether it will be relevant and admitted at trial.
That's former Idaho Attorney General David Leroy. He's not involved in the case, but agreed to provide some analysis on why these texts are being released now, and if they'll be allowed as evidence.
So the answer to the question as to why things are coming out now is both that discovery is ongoing and that motions are being made.
Leroy says as we get closer to the trial, both sides are required to share details about what they plan to present, and the judge needs time to decide what will ultimately be allowed. The defense argues the texts are hearsay and also claims the evidence was not made available to them and gets in the way of Kohberger's right to a fair trial. It's worth noting, before the case was moved to Ada County Judge John Judge ruled the recordings are not hearsay and can be used. Kohberger's trial is currently set to start in August. If you wanted to read the documents for yourself, we have the full transcript of these conversations and the latest updates on this case up on our website.
Okay. We got the gist of that. Yeah. It's crazy. Let me see here. I got 10 minutes of this. 10 minutes of old Gray Hughes. Okay. Let me share this tab. Okay. And let me share his link. I'll put, his video in the chat, and I'll be in the chat with you guys too. And I'm going to pause this for fair use here and there, and we'll talk about it because he goes through the transcript and then he puts in like what is kind of new, and then he'll tell us what he's taken out that's not relevant. Like I guess not that it's not relevant, that they can't hear when they actually listen to the 911 call. So here, let me go through this so we don't have to listen to his opening. Won't let me. There we go. Okay. Oh.
Hello, this is Gray Hughes of Gray Hughes
Hello.
Investigates on YouTube. Please hit that like button, share, and subscribe. Well, I actually have been able to listen to the 911 call in the Idaho 4 case. And in doing so, I was able to tell that there's some errors made in the transcript. And man, what a horrifying situation that was for all of them. You can hear absolutely frantic. The text doesn't do anybody any justice whatsoever in terms of trying to figure out, how somebody's feeling, etc. So we'll just go through the transcript manually right now again, and I'll show you where there were words that they didn't get correct when they transcribed it. All right, so we got and some of the text in here isn't in the 911 call because they actually pieced together different calls in an order. So there might have been different audio file from a different agency, etc., and they put those in there. And I think I can kind of remember which parts are not in there, but it says like 911 location of your emergency. And then Dylan says, "Hi, something's happening." I mean, she's really, really upset. Something's happening. Something happened in our house. We don't know what we have. And then
and he's going to speak like they were speaking also. So to give it more of like emotion.
And one operator is very callous sounding. She's just like, yeah. What is your address of the emergency? And then 1122. And it says, no, don't. There is a no, don't, but there's some time in there, right? It isn't where it's immediately saying, it's like 1122, and then no, don't. We don't know what she's saying. And then what is the rest of the address?
I kind of got that feel anyway because of the dash. I don't know why. They didn't put like ... They put a dash, but for some reason I thought that when I read it.
And then she says, King Road. Okay, and is that a house or an apartment? It's a house, Dylan said. Can you repeat the address to make sure that I have it right? And then a neighbor came in and she said, I'll talk to you guys. We live at the right, so we're next to them. I need someone to repeat the address for verification. And then this neighbor said, the address is 1122 King Road. And the operator said, and what's the phone number of that you're calling from? And then we don't hear in the 911 call this portion here. I don't know if they just sort of edited it out a block. We also don't hear the word okay. And then it just starts up right here where it says, and tell me exactly what's going on.
What was the first thing he said that you don't see?
I don't know if they just sort of edited it out a block. We also don't hear the word okay. And then it just starts.
Oh, okay. So I guess you don't hear what's your number and the okay.
Up right here where it says, and tell me exactly what's going on. And then the neighbor said, one of our, probably you're going to say one of our friends, and it said one of the roommates who's passed out and she was drunk last night and she's not waking up. And then you can hear Dylan say something in the background like, no, we saw. And then the operator says, okay. And then the neighbor picking up on what Dylan said, oh, and they saw some man in their house last night. Yeah. And then Dylan said, hi, this is Dylan. You can actually hear her say that underneath the operator's voice. This is Dylan. So literally, that is Dylan, just like we predicted. And are you with the patient? Okay.
So this is Dylan on the phone now.
Okay, I need someone to keep the phone. Stop passing it around. That's what she sounds like. Like, hey, okay, I need someone to keep the phone. Stop passing it around.
That's what I figured it was, because when the next thing she says, can I tell you what happened? Pretty much, like, I figured it was Dylan and not Bethany. I don't know why, but I did.
Agitated sounding, the 911 operator. And then Dylan says in a really upset voice, can I just tell you what happened pretty much? And then the operator says, what is going on currently? Is someone passed out right now? So this is exactly what we were saying, is that she was trying to get the story out and tell the operator what the hell happened last night, but the operator didn't want to listen to it. And of course, the operator wouldn't, want to sit there and talk about what happened last night when she's trying to help somebody who is passed out. So that's her main concern originally in this call. And then Dylan says, I don't really know, but pretty much at 4 a.m. And then she's really, really upset. And it says, okay, I need to know what's going on right now. If someone is passed out, can you find that out? So then it says, yeah, I'll come. come on, we got to go check. And then she says, but we have to, responding to somebody in the background. You cannot hear them saying anything. But 9 seconds after that is when Dylan asked whoever went up there, is she passed out? Then there's 6 seconds later, someone.
So I'm wondering if this is like not like 6 seconds, 9 seconds. I wonder if this is the times that it's taken them to get up the stairs to Xana.
Says either yes or dead. It's hard to
like, because I don't know why, but I'm picturing them outside calling 911. What did you guys picture that? Like when you thought of them calling 911, where did you? That's a good question. Because I don't know why. I just assumed they went outside, but it was really cold that day. But still, I mean, I wouldn't want to be around unalived people. So, where did you guys think that they called? They made the 911 call from? Did you think they made it from like in the house, or because I thought they were just outside? I just pictured them as standing outside making the phone call, passing the phone around. So, and then I truly believe only 3 or 4 people were in the house. I believe it was Hunter, Dylan, Bethany, and then maybe Hunter's girlfriend, Emily, may have been in there. So I do believe only 4 people were in there. Because I know that they were found outside the front yard, but yeah. And called 911. Okay, that's what I was thinking too, like outside.
It tells like, yeah, like that. And then 6 seconds after that, Dylan says, passed out. What's wrong? She says, passed out. What's wrong? She's really upset about what's going on. So we just read that portion, but it's a lot different than how this portrays it right here. I mean, it's similar, but there's other words like passed out, what's wrong, is what Dylan says. And there's this whole bunch of time in between. Then the dispatching Moscow Law Ambulance 4, we don't hear that. And then Dylan says, she's not waking up. That is heard. And then I'm not sure we can hear unconsciousness, 1122 King Road. And then 70 is en route. We don't hear that. Then the operator said, okay, one moment. I'm getting help started that way. And then Dylan, which wasn't even put in here, says, thank you. It doesn't say, okay, maybe. It says, thank you. Okay, thank you. It says, okay, thank you. That's what I'm trying to get at. It doesn't say, okay, maybe. I mean, I don't know.
That sounds completely different. Thank you and okay, maybe. Why are we getting these transcripts wrong?
Where the hell they came up with that one. Then it says, what?
And also, sorry, if you guys have seen Drunk Turkey's version of this, let me know if it kind of matches up to Gray's version of things, I'm sure it does. I mean, but I'm just wondering, it's just so crazy. I want to know how they heard the call. Who's got the call?
What's wrong? She says out loud, which isn't even written here at all, says, what's wrong, in a high-pitched, upset voice, then 23 seconds of deep breathing, literally sounding like this. She is freaking out, and then she whispers something that sounds like she says, poor Kaylee. And then a male said, get out, let's get out. Now, Dylan likely had, because she had tried calling.
Maybe she's putting everything together. I don't know.
Calling Kaylee and Madison. She might have even said Madison, but there's a word that's unintelligible after she says, poor Kaylee. So she might even say Madison as well. And, she tried calling them. So likely now that she knows that there's something really, really wrong with Xana, that something bad happened upstairs. And it could be that one of the roommates had gone upstairs as well and said, hey, there's somebody, something's going on up there as well. We don't know. But
how do you not see Ethan if you see Xana? Even if he's in the bedroom, don't you think someone would have peeked in there? Dylan didn't say, hey, wait, Ethan stayed over last night? I mean, she was found in the room with him. I don't understand. I mean, he's a big boy.
Either way, She sounds like she says, poor Kaylee. And then a male says, get out, let's get out. So I think what we're
Welcome in, everybody.
looking at is in the
Oh, that's
house
awesome,
at
Pickle.
1122 King Road. Let's go in here for a second.
Let's
I think
go
that
in
they
here.
were basically outside the front of the house,
This is
down
where I didn't get to
here, talking to 911. And then when they went into the house, basically, so that's the front door right there that's open. And then Dylan was likely still like in this area, letting the other people go to the room. And then they checked in the room and then we're like, oh, let's get out. And then they all start making their way down the stairs. You can actually hear the steps on the stairs going back down. So I think that's exactly what's going on there.
Do you think that blood could have been Ethan's or Xana's? What if one of them knelt down to see if there was a pulse? There would be 100% chance, probably. I would say a 99% chance that they would get, something on their fingers. So what if they do that upstairs, right-handed, and then they're running down the stairs and they grab onto the stair railing, and run down it. Maybe that's how that got there.
And then the operator says 1122 King Road, all ambulance respond for unconsciousness. Now, I don't think we can hear that part. And then the I copy,
It could have been Hunter.
So she must be saying that on a different line.
Because if anyone checked the pulse, it would have been Hunter. Like, those girls were not going to be able to do it, I don't think. They were freaking out. I feel like he was probably maybe the more calm one out of all of them. I mean, probably not calm, but, able to say, get out of here and, know that there's something wrong. But I'm sure I would think someone knelt down to see if they were, breathing at all.
Then the operator says, we don't even hear the multiple RPs on the phone advise saying the roommate on the scene. We don't hear that. We don't hear being around. That part's not on there. And then this thing right here, it says that one I copy about a 20-year-old female. So this might be out of order because that's not on the 911 call. So after this was said, that was probably said, and they put it out of order. Okay, so that's incorrect right there.
Okay.
And then copy, yeah. And we don't even hear this, yeah, it's Evan. We should, because that should be on the 911 call. He's the one in the room there. And then Dylan says, okay. And how old is she? She's 20. 20, you said? Yes, 20. Here, do you want to talk to him? This is when Dylan is handing the phone to Evan.
So who's Evan? Does anyone know about Evan? I didn't know about Evan. When I was reading this, I didn't think about it.
Okay, right here is not on audio. You cannot hear it on the 911 call. And then Evan says, hello, or whoever this is. It might be Evan, I don't know. But it says, hello, and it sounds almost exactly like my AI voices that I used when I put the dialogue to text. I mean, it's unbelievable how similar it sounded. And it says, okay, I need someone to stop passing the phone around because I've talked to 4 different people. I mean, you could sense her agitation even without listening to it and just reading it. And then the male says, okay, sorry, they just gave me the phone. Is she breathing? The operator asked to the male on the phone. And then the male on the phone says,
oh, I thought her name was Emily. Her name's Evan? Oh. Okay. Yeah, Michelle, I believe that. Yeah, I definitely will. I will listen to him.
hello? Is she breathing? No. The operator says, okay. And then this part that says unintelligible en route. We don't hear that at all. Oh, there is like a little bit of audio in the background that says en route, but we can't hear what it says just before en route, just like they have there. And then the person on the phone, maybe it's Evan, said, Bethany or Dylan, the transcript says, Bethany or Dylan, I need you to talking to them, okay? I can't talk to them. I need you to talk to them. But what I hear is, Bethany or Dylan, I need you to talk to them. Say I can't talk to them. Say you need to talk to them. Meaning, I think they're saying that the operator told him that he can't talk to them and he needs them to talk to them.
I'm assuming that he was just saying, I don't live here. Take the phone. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be associated with this, kind of like, this is your house here. Take the phone and, they'll talk to you.
But it's different wording. It's just not the same as what they had. And then Dylan says, okay, hello. So Dylan grabbed the phone after the individual, maybe Evan, handed her the phone. So then the operator says, okay, I've already sent ambulance and law enforcement. Stay on the line. Then
Okay, I'm so confused because I thought Evan was a male too. And I think Emily is his girlfriend. Frenchie said that too. Okay. I thought maybe Evan was like a cop or something. That's at first I'm like, huh? Okay, Frenchie. Sky game because I don't think I would have. I think I'd have been too damn scared to check because they called and nobody was answering. I just, being that young, like being 39 years old, I could say, yeah, I would go check on them. But being 20 years old, if there was 20-year-old me, I would be terrified. I would be absolutely terrified. I would be asking Hunter to go do it. Hunter, please go up there. Please, Hunter, go up there, please. No, my brain would be like, you don't want to see that. You don't want to know. But so Emily is Hunter's girlfriend. Evan is nobody, I guess. That's probably he didn't hear it on the thing. He probably, because he just said he didn't even hear it on the recording.
Dylan said, okay, if there is a defibrillator available, send someone to get it now and tell me when you have it. Units responding, RP advising. And then Dylan said, say that again. There is police here right now. See, that wasn't unintelligible. It was very simple to understand, so I'm not sure why it wasn't there. Then the operator says, patient is not conscious, not breathing. Now, I don't remember if that's audible or not. Okay, if there's a defibrillator available, send someone to get it now and tell me when you have it. We don't have one. Unconscious, not breathing, the operator said. Do you have a defibrillator? Yep. And so that's Dylan asking the officer who just showed up, do you have a defibrillator? And you hear the male voice said, yep. Yes, we have one, is what Dylan said back to the operator. But are you talking to the operator? Is what the operator said to Dylan. And Dylan said, yes. And then the operator said, okay, I'm going to let you go since he's there with you and can help you. And then Dylan said, okay, thank you, bye. And then the operator said, okay, Moscow. And then we don't hear anything after okay. All of this is not in there because it's on different lines, but it's definitely not in the 911 transcript.
That's probably on the police dispatch, like, with them dispatching each other.
Or, the actual call itself, it's not in there. So this is just sort of a compilation of different audio files during that time. So that's why that confusion with the age being 20 is just out of place. It's not in the correct order there. But man, it's when you finally get to listen to it, I think you might get to listen to it not too long from now. You'll realize that Dylan is just absolutely freaked out, and you can see exactly why she was in her room. I bet you she was like hyperventilating and that she was freaking out all night in her room after hearing what she heard, but she just didn't want to go out and verify for her own mind that something happened. I think she was just protecting her own sanity. She obviously thought she heard some stuff going on because 3 times Dylan opened her door and heard different things going on enough. The alarm must have gone off in her head strong enough where she thought, man, I'm going to open my door and look out. But if you notice, she didn't even leave her room. She just opened the door and listened because she probably didn't want to go around and be part of whatever was going on. Right. So she goes back in her room, and then again, she opens it up that last time. And that's when Kohberger with his bushy eyebrows walks by and takes a right and goes through the kitchen and then out the sliding glass door. So, man, I actually really feel for both of them. And when you finally hear the call, you'll see how absolutely freaked out they are. And, we don't know if some of the roommates got there first and kind of were looking around to see what they could see already. But I don't know. It feels like they were all just kind of hanging out down below, and then eventually went up and they could see that she, Xana wasn't doing well whatsoever. I mean, that she was not alive at that point. And, when they went into that room, they probably could have seen Ethan in there, but we just don't know, right? We don't get to know. We don't get to interview the people. We're just listening to the 911 call, and Dylan never went into the room. She was just repeating things that were told back to her. But she could tell something really, really bad was going on, especially when that person said, get out, let's get out. Because then they knew somebody was dead at that point. All right. So I feel fortunate that I was able to listen to it. Absolutely freaky stuff. Nothing like reading it. I mean, one of the craziest comments I ever saw under one of my videos was, they seem so calm in the 911 call. And it's like, we haven't heard it. What are you talking about? That's just text. So it's almost like the voices that they put in their head of what it sounded like was reality, and it's not at all. That's why I didn't like my AI version, because I could tell it was just really bland sounding and generic, but at least it had different female and male voices assigned to different speakers in it. Okay. So I think you guys need to start looking differently at Dylan. And
so the 911 call wasn't released yet, but apparently a couple creators got to hear it. I don't know how they heard it. I don't know where it's at. I've been looking everywhere for it. So if anyone finds it, let me know. If you just happen to stumble across it, because I've been looking on Reddit, I've been looking on Twitter, I've been looking at all, like, around all the things. But I haven't seen it yet. But Gray Hughes and I guess Drunk Turkey, they both have heard the 911 call, and they're coming out and saying it was really said like this and stated like this. So we're going with them for now.
And Bethany Funk, all right, because they had absolutely nothing to do with this. Thank you all very much for watching. When the actual audio file becomes public, maybe I'll get a copy of it and I'll be able to put it out there. All right. So thank you all very much for watching. Please hit that like button, share the video, and subscribe. And as I always say, until next.
Here, let me put his thing back in his video. Here's his video. If you want to go and watch it again or subscribe to the channel. I don't want to forget. Drunk Turkey FOIA'd it. So that's, maybe I need to FOIA it. Maybe they're letting people. Well, Jay had a FOIA in, I think. Jay is for Justice. I don't know if she got it. I'm curious. I haven't been on YouTube to see, though. Let me write it on my list of things to do. Because I'll just put a FOIA in. I have to put another one in anyway for in another state for a case that I'm going to be bringing to the channel. So I'll probably be in a list, in a sea full of everybody trying to get the call. But I still will put it in. And I'll check my emails tomorrow because I didn't get to check them today. I need to figure out how to get my emails on my phone, or from my phone to my computer. Because I got a new laptop back in January and I still haven't done that yet. Let's see. Okay, I was just seeing what was down there. All right. So they're Northwest Public Broadcasting came out with this new details revealed in the case of Idaho student killers or student killings. Sorry. And they talked to Andrea Burkhart in this article. And I like getting her, at her side of things. I think she has a great mind. It says here, though, and we'll finish up with this. The murder trial for Bryan Kohberger, the man accused of killing 4 University of Idaho students in 2022, is scheduled for August. Like I said, August 11th. Mark your calendars. Take your vacation days off, I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding. Go on vacation on your vacation days. From my perspective, it's still a little bit of an open question as to whether what's going to happen, said Andrea Burkhart, a criminal defense attorney in Washington State. She's been following the case from the beginning. Burkhart thinks the date up for the trial, which has been pushed out before, could be delayed again. I don't believe so. Recently, Kohberger's defense team filed a motion that accused the state of Idaho of violating numerous disclosure violations when it comes to evidence for the case. In total, the state has turned over 68 terabytes of data. That includes over 20,000 videos and more than 13,000 photographs, according to recent court filings. That's a lot. There is no feasible way for the defense to be able to review all of this information and see what's there, let alone respond to it in time for the time frame for the trial. Yeah, no, Andrea, I gotta decline that. I gotta say no. They've had plenty of time. They've had over 2 years to look. They should have been looking this whole time. I mean, really. To tie Kohberger to the killings, and they have, why can't they get like some interns or something to look? Investigators are relying on key DNA evidence from the knife sheath found at the scene of the crime and witness testimony from the surviving roommates. Victims Kayla Gonzalez, Madison Mogan, and Zana Kernodle lived in the house together with 2 roommates who survived the attack. Identified in court documents by their initials DM and BF, Ethan Chapin, Kernodle's boyfriend, who was also killed, was at the house spending the night. DM stated she had gone to bed the night of November 12th, but was awoken at 4 a.m. by sounds in the upstairs bedroom. Shortly after she thought she heard Gonzalez say, "There's someone here." DM looked out of her bedroom twice, and on the second time she said she heard a male voice say, "It's okay, I'm here to help you." DM opened her door for the 3rd time after she heard crying. She saw a figure dressed in black clothing wearing a black mask that covered his nose and mouth walking towards her. She described this person as male, athletically built, and with bushy eyebrows. He walked past her as she stood frozen in shock. Recently filed documents reveal new details about the moment shortly after. At 4:19 a.m. on the morning of November 13th, DM used her phone to call Kernodle, Gonzalez, and Mogan. No one is answering. DM text to BF, "I'm really confused right now." "Yeah, dude, WTF," BF replied and mentioned their roommate Xana was wearing all black. "No, it's like a ski mask almost," said DM. She said the man had something covering his head and mouth. "I'm so freaked out." "So am I," said BF. DM said her phone was going to die and BF told her to come to her room. At 4:24 a.m., DM tries to call Chapin. The calls all went unanswered. In a statement on Friday, the Gonzalez family said they had been reading the text between the roommates and the latest documents released on the 911 call. It's time reality is going to hit us in the gut again. This fight is nowhere near over, they shared on their family Facebook page. These girls were our kids. Forever will our heart hurt over how they lost their lives. Despite the troves of evidence submitted in the case, Burkhart said a lot of it is circumstantial. That includes the proposed map of Kohberger alleged travel on the night of the killings based on his cell phone data. Even Kohberger's DNA, which investigators say they found on the knife sheath next to one of the victims' bodies, might not be enough, she said. They don't have apparently any bodily fluid or something associated with it that might tell a clearer picture about how that DNA came to be in that location and when it came to be in that location. She wasn't just sleeping in bed with it. I mean, come on now. From her perspective as a criminal defense attorney, she's a defense attorney too, so we're going to take that with a grain of salt because, they are always on the defense. Burkhart said Kohberger's team need to present why his DNA was found on the knife sheath and convince the jury that their explanation constitutes reasonable doubt. One of the most frustrating parts of the people following the case is that the answers are hard to come by. While more information gives a better picture of what transpired, it isn't giving great certainty about how events transpired. Okay. I was trying to... Hey, Mountain Man. Welcome in, everyone. It says the challenging part of this case is overcoming the preconceptions that people have already formed about the evidence just from what they have been reported in the media, some of which may not be true and some of which may be understood. The combination of the brutal nature of the stabbings, young victims, and an unknown killer on the loose for weeks caused the case to garner international attention. After his arrest in Pennsylvania on December 30th, Kohberger was extradited to Idaho, where he was indicted on murder charges in Latah County Court in Moscow, the city where the crime was committed. Kohberger's defense team argued that sensationalism on news and social media would make it impossible to have a fair trial in the small town of Moscow. In September, the Idaho Supreme Court ruled the trial should be moved to Ada County, where Idaho's state capital and largest city, Boise, is located. At the time of the killings, Kohberger was studying criminology at nearby Washington State University, just across the state line, about 7 miles away. The weapon used in the killings has not been found. Jury selection for the trial is set to begin in July. So yeah, at the end of July, that's whenever they're going to have jury selection. And then they're given they're giving themselves enough time to where August 11th is when the actual trial starts. And I think it's like a 15-week trial or something crazy. 12, 15 weeks. It's a long one. It's a long one. So buckle up, get your seatbelts on, get on the bus, let's ride this wave out. But that is all I have for you guys for tonight. Let me see if there's anything over here on YouTube see if there's any more people posting that they heard 911 calls. So no. I wonder if I can do something while I'm on here with you guys. Let's see. Oh, I can't. Okay. Well, here in about 10 minutes, I'm going to upload a video for you guys. It's going to be the 43-second video of Bridge Guy from the Delphi murder case with Abby and Libby. They released the full 43 seconds. So they just released it. So I already did the video. The video's done. I did it before I came on here. So I'm going to make a thumbnail really quick, post that video for you guys. That way you guys can hear that and see that. But that's all I have for you guys for tonight. Thank you guys for being here. It's only a short live, but I'll be on tomorrow. I may be on tomorrow during the day. I don't really have anything planned other than doing this stuff. Maybe I'll come on and I'll do this checklist with you guys. That way I can get stuff done. I might do that because you guys help me get stuff done. I'll just come on here and do the FOIA, and we'll talk about another case that I'm going to bring to the table. It's actually my cousin's case. So I need to FOIA and I need to do it. And every time I go to do it, I get a little emotional. So I think if I have some people with me, it won't be so bad. It won't be so bad. But thank you guys so much for being here. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We are here nightly at 9:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to talk about true crime cases, all the cases that we could think of. If that's something that you're into, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button for me. And thank you for being here tonight. I do appreciate you guys so much. Also, have a wonderful Thursday tomorrow. We're that much closer to Friday, and hopefully the day is beautiful out because it's been in the 70s the last 2 days here. So I'm trying to give you guys the warm weather. But thank you for being here tonight. I will see you guys all in the next live. Bye, guys.
Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna light it up. just like a spark that's breaking out.